This is the Orioles POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Baltimore Orioles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
They found another way. The Baltimore Orioles found another way to gift a game to a rival team here on Saturday night. Welcome to the Baltimore Orioles postcast here. We're live on YouTube, available on demand wherever you get your podcasts for free as part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Final score tonight, the Tampa Bay Rays 4 and the Baltimore Orioles 3. Back to 11 games under 500 for the O's. They lose the series to the Rays with the impending series finale tomorrow afternoon. And they fall to 12-11 in one-run games. The O's, under Tony Mansolino, the interim manager, have tried to find ways to win at the margins, and they cannot hold on. They blow a 2-0 lead in the late innings, courtesy of right-hander Seranthony Domínguez and others, and they drop a series to a divisional rival in this very pivotal part of the schedule. This is disappointing on a number of fronts. For one, would have loved to have talked to you about right-hander Dean Kremer schooling the Rays, going 7 strong, having a 3.12 ERA after April in the campaign he's put together. And we'll get to that in the second block. Tonight, this first block is going to be rough, particularly this late inning collapse from Seranthony Domínguez. But this is probably the proverbial nail in the coffin. You had to come out of the break strong, and the O's had been flat-footed on every phase of the game.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Credit to the Rays. Tampa Bay is well managed under Kevin Cash. They have young talent. They have really good speed that changes the game. They did everything they could to salvage a game that was slipping away. And we saw this in the 8-0 game last month. The Rays are never out of it. And the O's flirting with a 2-0 lead and playing grab ass for most of the game is just, it's unbecoming and not the standard, not the expectation for this Baltimore team. You wonder who's playing well enough to even get traded for a warm body this deadline. You'll get a warm body for Ryan O'Hearn just because of the first half he put up, and then, I don't know, man. No one's playing well enough to even get traded. All this talk about blowing it up, and I'm with you. Anyone who's not going to be here beyond 2026, 2027, who do you need on this roster next year other than the main core, the top draft picks, the ones who are producing? Westberg, Holiday, Gunnar, Smiles. Cedric Mullins is a below replacement level player. Ramon Urias hardly hits for power, got gifted 2 doubles tonight. And Seranthony Domínguez is one of those guys. I know that Connor Newcomb has mentioned perhaps a reunion with Philadelphia, a late inning high leverage reliever. Probably one of those guys who would be on the trading block. This is not the tape you want getting out weeks before the deadline. July 31st, beginning of August, is coming very quickly. And for that, we turn to the bottom of the 8th with the O's leading 2-1 and right-hander Seranthony Domínguez center stage.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Seranthony Domínguez, first batter, Ha-Seong Kim, well fought at bat by Kim, hits a single to right field, goes oppo with it, promptly steals a base. Matt Theis, the next batter, at the plate, lines out to Tyler O'Neill at right field, a fastball low. Kim advances to third base. Ball was hit deep enough to get the Rays within 90 feet of tying the game. 2-1 ball game. Leave it up to Chandler Simpson, this striking young contact hitter with blazing speed. He's got a good hit tool, or at least he's showing now that he's able to catch up to major league pitching. We saw it last night against Charlie Morton, and we see it tonight as well. Hanging sweeper middle from Seranthony Domínguez. Had chances to close him out there with 2 strikes, and Simpson blasts it up the middle. A very lackluster effort there from Domínguez. Couldn't execute, and the game is tied 2-2. Now you've got one of the game's fastest runners at first base with 1 out. Chance to take the lead. Jose Caballero at the plate. Simpson promptly steals second base, and at that point, Domínguez is rattled, and he forgets how to throw a strike. Walks Caballero, the last pitch, in fact, inside off the glove of Jacob Stallings for a wild pitch. Simpson advances to third. With Yandy Diaz up, Caballero steals second base. He's got more than 30 on the year. And Domínguez walks Yandy Diaz on 4 pitches. A couple of notes on this. Where was Andrew Kittredge in this spot? The inning prior, Dean Kremer was working with a 2-0 lead. He ended up giving up a run. But in a high leverage situation, Andrew Kittredge was warming up in the bullpen. You saw it on the MASN broadcast. He was throwing warm-up pitches. And then you just sit him? What? You mean to tell me, in an organization that believes in traditional bullpen roles, Felix Bautista is your closer, and then you pay a right-hander, 35-year-old Andrew Kittredge, $10 million a year with an option for next year to be the setup man to set up your closer? Wouldn't this be the time to hand the baton? And this is not a knock on Seranthony and Domínguez. However, most of the success we've seen from him has been 6th, 7th inning situations. Same for Gregory Soto. Gregory Soto can set up sometimes. This is such an incongruent bullpen and not well managed. So bases loaded at that point, and Gregory Soto is then called in to stop the bleeding. He does not. First pitch against Jonathan Aranda is a ground ball to Ryan O'Hearn at first base. O'Hearn picks it, throws home, very quick exchange, and the throw goes wild, well beyond the glove of Jacob Stallings. Simpson scores easily, and Caballero right on his heels. Makes it a 4-2 ball game. This is concerning. Ryan O'Hearn, the all-star, had a great weekend in Atlanta, yada, yada. Bases loaded, 1 out. Aranda is the batter. Not great speed. Yandy Diaz is at first place. So, not great speed there at first or at the plate. Why not try to turn 2? And on replay, it's very clear that you had a beat on a throw at second base. Then twirl it, throw it to first, get out of the inning tied, make it square, and go back to fight another day. And in fact, the O's would score a run there against Pete Fairbanks in the top of the ninth. O'Neill doubling and then getting singled home by Cedric Mullins. Hindsight's 20/20, but rough. Let's talk about that offense, by the way. Went dormant after the first inning. Had a chance to stick it to Zach Littell early on, and they did. He was not sharp out of the gate. Could not locate his splitter, slider, or sinker early. 27 pitch first inning for Littell. Holiday was all over a slider to lead off the game, hit a single on 6 pitches. That slider has been decreasing in value and run value for Littell. Westberg then doubles on a slider over the plate, 87 miles an hour, lower corner. So Gunnar Henderson, fastball off the plate, sacrifices in Holiday, makes it a 1-0 game. Then Ryan O'Hearn gets a splitter low and in, kind of in his wheelhouse. It's an RBI single to right. And quickly, it's 2-0. The O's proceed to go 0 for 8 with their next chances in runners in scoring position. And the chances were there. Scattered 11 hits throughout this game, and they would not strike again until the 9th. O'Hearn doubling, Mullins hitting a pop-up beyond Caballero at second base, made it 4-3. And Mullins stealing second base, Holiday lining out to end the game to Chandler Simpson, who fittingly put together a great game. Even in the 8th, Gunnar Henderson reached it on a fielder's choice, ended up stealing 2 bases, but unfortunately, a lot of this damage that the O's did, or at least the hitting that they did, came with 2 outs. And at that point, you're handing the baton over to a Jacob Stallings or someone to try to deliver a clutch hit, and it just ain't happening. Ramon Urias gifted 2 doubles as well. What did they do with it? Nothing. Chandler Simpson completely missing a ball, turning the wrong direction, a double to center field, and then a ground rule double in that Bermuda Triangle right field line area, and nothing. Coming up, we're going to talk about the one positive of this game. It was Dean Kremer. If there hadn't been a player of the game, it would have been Dino. He has been nails. And that's all coming up after the break. This is the Locked On Orioles postcast. Final score 4-3 as the Rays topple the O's. Stick with us. I'm going to read this really slowly. Summer sports are in full swing. Baseball under the lights. We're all still watching. I see you all here live on YouTube. There's golf. Got the Happy Gilmore movie coming out in T-minus 1 week. High stakes soccer action, all those FIBA matchups, if you will. And FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. FIFA, excuse me. You're already following the action. Why not make it more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburnt at the beach or dying of mono. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. If you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Thank you to FanDuel for sponsoring this show. Welcome back to the Orioles postcast. We got 3 minutes. Let's bang this out. Dean Kremer entered tonight's game 3-0 with a 2.17 ERA in his past 5 starts. Balls to the wall, just carving people up. Our favorite Israeli killing it and gunning for his 9th win of the season, of which he was robbed. Take out the month of April, and what do we got for Dean Kremer after tonight? 3.12 ERA between May, June, and this first portion of July. 78 innings over 13 outings, 12 starts. If there were a way to bridge the gap between March and April Dean, who does not have good command of his pitches, doesn't have his grip, and just gets blasted and folded whenever there was any sort of adversity against him, and the Dean Kremer we've seen now, you might say, hey, that Manny Machado trade wasn't bad at all. I would say in 2026 and moving forward, find a stopgap rotation solution, perhaps maybe an opener for Dean Kremer, so that you can ease him into the season and make use of his talents. It's weird that we're getting here, but a 3.12 ERA outside of the month of April is great. That's exactly what you want. Bottom of the rotation, mid-rotation starter. And he has owned the Rays. 3 starts this season now. 19 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 6 walks to 16 Ks. We saw it early. A nasty break on the split finger fastball. The cutter was nasty. Occasional problems locating there in that first frame, 15 pitches, but it seemed like the arm angle might have just been shoddy on 1 or 2 shots at the plate. Striking out Chandler Simpson to lead off the game. Dominant, 80 miles an hour, 4 pitches, and that split finger fastball just dropping off the plate. Brandon Lau freezing him, top shelf with that 4-seam fastball. Really good stuff. Even the 4th inning, I think, is probably when I was most impressed, getting Lau to strike out on a curveball, 76 miles an hour, but some big break. We know about the spin rate on some of these pitches. Charlie Morton's got the best spin rate on the curveball in the league. And Kremer's is above average as well, a little more than 2,800 RPMs. We saw that in the induced vertical break. This drop on the pitch is a full foot, 12 inches. Insane stuff. And then getting Jonathan Aranda that same inning to strike out on a splitter, breaking horizontally a foot, was just great stuff to see out of Dean Kremer. 3 innings, he surrenders leadoff walks and navigates around traffic in all of them. Only one of those walks comes back and burns him there in the 7th inning, but it was a bend, don't break mentality, and Dean Kremer did his job. Walked Yandy Diaz to start the 7th, then got Aranda to strike out on a foul tip, high curveball hanging off the outside corner. And then Caminero hits a double down the left field line, makes it runners at 2nd and 3rd. A ground out from Josh Lowe on a splitter high to Jackson Holliday. They concede the run to get another out, make it 2 outs in the inning. That is when Andrew Kittredge started warming up in the bullpen, trying to perhaps bridge the gap between Kremer and trying to get out of the inning unscathed. But at that point, it's too late. And he gets Jake Mangum to fly out to Tyler O'Neill on a splitter low to end the inning. So 7 full frames for Dean Kremer. Right-hander gives up 1 earned run on 3 hits, 3 walks, one of which comes home to score, and 6 strikeouts on 98 pitches. That ERA had just touched 4 even, 4.00, and finishes at 4.06 to end the night. We carry on, and the O's will try to salvage at least one game in this series. 12-10 first pitch on Masson 2. It's left-hander Trevor Rogers against right-hander Ryan Pepio. Rogers is 2-1 with a 1.53 ERA, and Pepio 6-6 with a 3.32 ERA. I wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in here on the Saturday night. We know you've got a lot of options here, but the Baltimore Orioles postcast is here for you all the time. Go ahead, wherever you're watching, on demand, in the car, go ahead, leave a comment, a rating, a review. Supporting this channel means a lot to me and Connor. I want to say thank you for watching. Final score tonight, Tampa Bay Rays 4 and the Baltimore Orioles 3. Good night, stay safe, and I will see you right back here tomorrow night.